It's very hot today. I am sweating and I am feeling thirsty too. I think I shall have a glass of water. Pupils, can you tell me why I am feeling thirsty? Our topic for today will help to explain your answers. Assalamualaikum and greetings, pupils. I am happy to be with you today. I am Sariful Asra binti Rosali from SMK Raja Abdullah, Kuala Lumpur. I hope you are ready to learn about today's topic, homeostasis in living things. By the end of today's lesson, you should be able to 1. Communicate about homeostasis. 2. Explain with examples the systems involved in homeostasis in humans and animals. 3. Explain with examples the systems involved in homeostasis in plants. And lastly, appreciate the importance of homeostasis in humans and animals. What is homeostasis? The word homeostasis is derived from a Greek word homeo, which means similar, and stasis, which means stable. To put it simply, homeostasis means to maintain a stable, relatively constant condition. Homeostasis is the maintenance of the internal environment in the body of an organism, such as temperature, water, pH, and blood pressure, to be in a balanced and stable condition. Do you know what the temperature of the human body is? Yes, very good. According to the Ministry of Health, the average body temperature ranges from 36.5 degrees Celsius to 37.2 degrees Celsius. Our body temperature needs to stay stable at 37 degrees Celsius so that the chemical reaction in the body can function efficiently. If the body temperature increases or decreases, our body might be in big trouble. It might lead to death. Oh no! Have you ever noticed that when we flush the toilet after using it, water will immediately fill up the flush tank again? This is to make sure that the toilet is always ready to be used by the next person. This is similar to what happens in our body when the water content in our body is depleted. That is how homeostasis in our body works. Let's look at this chart that shows the homeostasis control process. The system that is involved in the homeostasis control process is the control system. Whenever a change occurs in a system, the change automatically causes a corrective mechanism to start. This reverses the original change and brings the system back to normal. An area of the brain called the hypothalamus acts as our control system. Pupils, today I brought with me 2 models of human organs. Can you name the human organ that I am pointing to? Well done! Our kidney helps in producing urine. Did you know that even though we have 2 kidneys, we only need 1 to survive? So, if you were to donate 1 of your kidneys, you can still go on living with the other one. How about this? Do you know what organ this is? Yes, excellent! In our skin layer, we have hair, sweat glands, sweat pores, and blood vessels. Can you name the system which involves the kidney and the skin? Yes, very good. This is the excretory system. The excretory system is an example of our corrective mechanism. Now, pupils, let us take a look at the chart and try to explain the homeostasis process in maintaining water content in our body. When we drink a lot of water, the water content in our body increases. The brain will detect the changes and stimulate the secretion of hormones. The kidney will then increase the production of urine, and the skin will produce sweat. This way, excess water is removed from our body. Water content in the body decreases and normal water body content is maintained. Boys and girls, do you know what happens after you play a game of badminton? When you perform an activity like playing badminton, the body temperature increases. Your body will look for ways to correct these changes. Your body will sweat. Heat from the body will be released together with the sweat. This action will bring your temperature back to normal again. When we sweat, the water content inside our body decreases. That is why we feel thirsty. We should drink a lot of water to replace the water loss in our body. I'm feeling cold right now because the air conditioning is on. Look, the hair on my body is standing. Can you explain why? On a cold day, our body temperature will drop. Our brain will detect the change and stimulate the corrective mechanisms to correct this change. First, the hair on our skin will stand erect to trap a layer of air on the skin. This layer of air will act as our heat insulator. Secondly, our sweat glands will stop producing sweat. The blood vessels will constrict to let more blood flow away from the skin. Lastly, we will shiver to increase the body temperature. All these actions occur in order to maintain our body temperature. Does doing heavy tasks such as running affect homeostasis? The table shows the data for the pulse count of 4 students after they have carried out several different tasks. We want to study the biological action that corresponds to pulse rate. Based on the data shown, can you try to answer these questions? Question 1. What can you see from the data? The data shows that the pulse count of the 4 students increases. So, we can see that the pulse count of the students increased after they carried out more vigorous activities. Question 2. What other observations can be seen after the students carry out a vigorous activity? The students are sweating. Question 3. Why is sweat produced after we carry out a vigorous activity? When we sweat, the water content inside our body decreases. We feel thirsty and drink a lot of water. What conclusion can we make from the data shown? From the data in the table, we can conclude that the pulse count will increase when we carry out a vigorous activity. Pupils, did you know that animals also have a normal body temperature? The body temperature of an animal varies according to the type of animal. Animals do not have sweat glands on their skin except on their pores. So, how does an animal maintain homeostasis during changes in the surrounding temperature? Animals like cats, dogs, rabbits, and hamsters have fur. How do animals with fur release the heat from their body? Cats lick their fur to reduce body temperature. Dogs stick out their tongue not because they are lazy, but this helps the saliva to be released faster in order to reduce the body temperature. Rabbits will hide in holes to escape the heat from the sun. Let's look at homeostasis in other animals. Reptiles are poikilothermic or cold-blooded animals. This means that the reptile's body temperature varies with that of the surroundings. When the surrounding is cold, lizards are less active, so their body activities are reduced. When the surrounding is hot, lizards move faster to increase their body activities. Can you see the slime that snails produce? What is the purpose of producing the slime? The snail loses a lot of water through evaporation on the surface of its skin. This helps the snail to stay moist and comfortable on a hot day. Snails will also hide in a humid place to reduce water loss. As busy as a bee. How do bees maintain homeostasis with the increase in the surrounding temperature? Let us take a closer look at the body of a bee. A bee has a waxy skin layer to reduce water evaporation from its body. A bee will close its spiracles between two breathing movements in order to reduce water loss from its body. Look at this picture of a vase of flowers. The flowers are wilted. Can you tell why? Yes, there is no water in the vase, so the flowers did not get water. Plants need sufficient water to prevent it from wilting and consequently dying. How do plants regulate water content during a hot day and a cold day? Plants lose water through transpiration. Water and minerals are absorbed through the root hairs. Then, the water is transported through the plant and exits through the stomata where it evaporates. Transpiration helps plants to absorb water and minerals. A stoma is a pore found in the epidermis of leaves and stems of plants. During the day, a stoma opens to allow water to evaporate through it. When the temperature is too high, the stoma is closed to reduce water evaporation. Tomato leaves roll up during a hot day to reduce water loss. Can you predict what will happen if our kidney cannot function properly? Yes, that is true. We will become sick. How will this affect the homeostasis process in the body? The failure of homeostatic regulation in just one body system will cause conditions to deteriorate, and it may be fatal. For the health of an organism, all homeostatic regulation mechanisms must function properly. That is why homeostasis is important in humans and all living things. The importance of homeostasis are 1. To provide optimum conditions in the body. 2. To allow all cells to carry out metabolism activities effectively. 3. To provide a balanced condition for the enzyme activities in our body. Now, it is time to check your understanding of the topic we have learned today. Let's look at these questions and try to answer them correctly. Determine which statement is true and which statement is false when our body is feeling very cold. The first statement: our body temperature is less than 37 degrees Celsius. Is this true or false? Yes, well done. It is true. Now, the second statement states that blood vessels dilate when our body is cold. Is this true or false? False. Blood vessels will constrict when our body is cold. Let's look at the third statement. The hair on our skin stands up when our body is cold. Is this true or false? Very good. The statement is true. How about the fourth statement? And let's take a look at the last statement. Less urine is produced when we are feeling cold. Is this true or false? Well done, pupils. The statement is false. Now, you are able to state the homeostasis process that occurs when our body is cold. Let's try the next question. Are you ready? Why does our face look red after carrying out vigorous exercise? Explain your answer. First, after doing vigorous exercise, our body temperature will increase. Next, the blood vessels under our skin dilate to allow more blood to flow to the surface of the skin. Then, heat is released into the surroundings through our skin. That is why our face looks red. Alright, pupils, let's discuss the answer to these next questions. Question A. How do elephants cool their body? Let's look at the video to help us to answer this question, okay? In hot weather, elephants flap their big ears around to lose body heat. Elephants will also spurt water onto their body using their trunk. Question B. There are many blood vessels below the surface of the skin on the back of an elephant's ears. Suggest how this can help an elephant to regulate its body temperature. The answer that we want is The elephant's ears have a thin layer of skin surface and the blood vessels are very close to the surface. The heat from the elephant's body is easily transferred out from the thin skin surface, mostly through radiation. Okay, pupils, we have reached the end of today's lesson. Let us recall what we have learned today. First, we learned the meaning of homeostasis. Secondly, we learned about homeostasis in the human body. Thirdly, we learned about homeostasis in animals. Lastly, we learned about homeostasis in plants. We also learned the importance of homeostasis. Well, we have come to the end of today's class. I hope you had a great time learning about homeostasis today. Until we meet again in the next session, goodbye and see you soon!